What's happening, guys? Levi from AMX, and we are back with another episode of Project 125, where we take a KTM 125 and rebuild it from the ground up. And today's episode, we're talking all things engine. We're gonna strip this bad boy down, assess it, see what it needs, get a parts list together, and get to the reassembly. Without further ado, guys, let's get stuck straight in. Well, as you can see, guys, I have got this engine completely stripped down. Now, when you are stripping down an engine of your own, it's always critical to make sure that you have all your parts bagged up, everything's labeled, so there's no point of confusion when it goes back to reassembly. Now, what I've done, I've stripped the engine, bagged all my bolts, and now I'm just gonna go over a couple of things that I need to look for in case I find damage, cracks, excessive wear, and things of that nature. So let's get into it. And the first thing I want to talk about is the clutch. Now, your clutch comprises of multiple friction pads and pressure plates, and over time, while you're using that clutch, it will slip and eventually wear away a lot of material, and that's actually what turns your transmission oil black when it comes to a motorbike. Now, how you can tell if your clutch is healthy or not is the actual pressure plates. You'll either see bluing for overheating or even a bit of excessive wear or score marks. But when it comes to your friction pads, you can actually measure the thickness of the friction pad. Go back to your workshop manual, and if it is smaller or thinner than what your workshop manual recommends, then that means your clutch has been slipping for an excessive amount of time and is now needed to be replaced. Second thing I want to go to is my piston and cylinder wear. So let's get our piston and cylinder. Now, obviously, you guys understand that the piston moves up and down in the cylinder. That produces drive for your transmission. Now, On a two-stroke, the oil is potentially mixed in with the fuel, and that is what provides lubricant for the piston rings. Now, if there is an adequate lubricant, you'll actually get a scoring of the piston and a scoring of the bore, and if that ever happens, you'll need to replace your piston and piston rings and either get your bore re-honed or completely replaced. But in our case, because our bike is only 8 86 hours old. It's really just basically worn in. A very healthy bore, very healthy piston rings, but we're gonna go ahead and replace the piston and piston rings anyways, and we're gonna re-hone our bore just so the person that gets this bike is gonna have a completely brand new bike. Thirdly, is your transmission and engine case bearings. Now you've got a series of bearings inside the transmission case here where all your shafts for your gear cluster, your crankshaft and everything like that runs inside this case and is all suspended with bearings. Now, obviously, like you guys know, if you have a noisy bearing, you'll definitely hear it. If the bearing completely collapses, it'll actually fragment, go into pieces, and start chewing things up inside your gearbox or inside your engine, which is something we really do not want to happen. So while you've got this crankcase apart, it's really good to just go ahead and replace your bearings. Don't even check on them, just go ahead and replace them. Put brand new ones in, just so you've got peace of mind when you go to reassemble that nothing is gonna happen in regards to bearings in this engine. Well, there you have it, guys. We have this engine completely stripped down. Now it's up to me to assess each individual part, get a parts list together, and get an order sent away so I can get this thing back together and ripping on the track. Another episode done for Project 125. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment below. Make sure you hit the little bell so you get notified when our next episode is uploaded. In the next episode, we'll be taking apart, assessing, cleaning, and reassembling everything to do with the suspension. I'm Levi from AMX. You guys get out there and you ride safe.